Today's class is on SN1 and SN2 mechanism, effect of solvent and effect of structure, and E1, E2 and E1 CV mechanism. Today I am discussing about the substitution nucleophilic reaction. This class is also included in organic reaction mechanism. In our previous video already we have discussed about the different types of reactions, chemical reactions and their mechanism, like substitution, elimination as well as addition. But now I am starting with the SN2 type reactions, substitution nucleophilic reactions, and that means the substitution reaction which takes part in presence of a nucleophile. So first I am discussing about the SN2 mechanism. See this is a compound. This is the chiral center actually. Here this is the chiral center. This carbon is optically active center, chiral center, because this is attached to it four different group or atoms like this. Here carbon is attached to it hydrogen, this carbon attached to it Br, so H and Br are in the plane, on the plane. Methyl, this group is below the plane, and CH1CH2 vinyl group is above the plane. OH minus acts here as a nucleophile. So if or whenever it approaches from the back side, why it approaches from the back side? Because you know that the Br is del negative here, Br is del negative. So OH minus can't approach from this side because these two repel each other, because it is also a negative charge species. We are also del negative due to the more electronegativity as compared to the carbon, and hence if or whenever OH minus approaches from this side, then these two repel each other, and hence forward type such type of attack of the nucleophile doesn't take place in case of SN type reaction. So only backside approach of the nucleophile takes place. This is the transition state. See this here, the carbon is in sp3 hybridized, that means four different group or atoms are attached here. Here see that five different group or atoms are attached. Here the five different groups or atoms are attached. Here carbon is attached with four different groups or atoms. Now in this state, see this, a p orbital is one lobe of the p orbital is occupied by the OH group. It slowly approaches toward the carbon, and from the other lobe Br releases. This is the transition state, and after this state we have seen that OH minus forms a strong bond from the back side and Br releases from the front side, and the total inversion of the configuration takes place. See this, hydrogen goes to this side, methyl, it is the below of the plane, and CH1CH2 is above the plane. So a total inversion of configuration takes place. So what is the characteristics, or actually what are the characteristics of such type of reaction? Number one, this is the one step process, because the bond formation and bond cleavage takes place in the same transition state here. So number two, bond dissociation and new bond formation takes place in a single step. Here see this, the reactant in the transition state, the reactant as well as the nucleophile both are present in the transition state, and that's why it is called the SN2 type reaction, substitution nucleophilic bimolecular. So in the transition state, both the reactant and the nucleophile are present. Now see this is the one step process, so no RDS is required here, because RDS is only required in case of multi-step process. So it is a one step process, and after the conversion of the product from the reactant, see this, generally inversion of configuration occurs. Suppose it is R, then it must be becomes S maybe. So generally inversion of configuration occurs, and in such type of reaction occurs only in case of this, where the carbon atom is 1 degree. So when if or whenever the carbon atom of the attacking species is 1 degree, then no steric hindrance occurs, and in that case such type of SN2 type mechanism is occurred. Now I am discussing about the second type of substitution nucleophilic reaction, which is SN1, substitution nucleophilic unimolecular. Why this type of reaction shows different mechanism with respect to SN2? Because we have seen that in case of 1 degree alkyl halide or 1 degree reactant, where the substitution reaction occurs with respect to the nucleophile, the bulky group doesn't take part, and hence the transition state occurs with 5 different groups or atoms attached with the central carbon atom. But here see this, with the increase of the bulkiness, on the alpha carbon, see that number of beta carbons are there 3. Therefore, if we draw the same transition state as with respect to the SN2 type mechanism, then this transition state occurs like this: CH2Me, and this will be CHMe2. Here dotted line Cl del negative, here dotted line OH del negative. So in this transition state, the steric hindrance, this is much more crowded as compared to the previous 1 degree crowded, because this is a 3 degree. This is a 3 degree carbon. So it is the chiral center here. This is the 3 degree carbon. So it becomes crowded, and with the increase of the crowd, with the increase of the bulkiness of the group attached with the carbon atom alpha carbon, the energy of the transition state increases, and hence it becomes unstable, and that's why it goes through a separate pathway. See this, first the carbocation forms. This is the slow step. So a bond dissociation occurs. That means the old bond dissociates first. Cl liberates to form this carbocation intermediate, forms a carbocation, and Cl minus forms an ion pair at first. What is the effectivity of such type of formation of the carbocation? Because here the carbon is sp3 hybridized. With the increase of the bulkiness, the reactivity decreases, energy increases, and hence first it dissociates to form a carbocation, which now becomes sp2 hybridized. And we know that in sp3 hybridization the bond angle becomes 109 degree 28 minutes, but now it becomes approx 120 degree. So bond angle is somewhat increased, and that's why as the bond angle increases, the steric hindrance between the two bulky groups is decreased. So it is more stable transition state as compared to the first. So this is the transition state, and see this, in the transition state, as this is the 2 steps process, this is the first step and this is the second step, and the first step is the rate determining step. This is the slowest step, bond dissociation. It requires very large amount of energy to dissociate this bond. So this is the slowest step. This is the rate determining step. Through the formation of sp2 carbocation, it goes to the product. Now in the first transition state, you see that the crowded groups are somewhat, the bond angle of the crowded groups are somewhat enlarged, and hence the repulsion, that means the steric hindrance between these two crowded groups, is somewhat minimized. So it is more stable transition state as compared to the this compound, initial reactant compound. Now after the formation of the transition state, carbocation OH minus, which acts as a nucleophile here, comes into the reaction. OH minus may approach from this side when such type of, suppose this is the first side, such type of product is offered. See this, OH minus approaches from this side and total inversion occurs to the right hand side. Now OH minus may comes from this side also, second. So it occurs the second compound, this. So if this is R, then this will be S. If this is S, then this will be R. So a racemic mixture is obtained here. See this, a racemic mixture is obtained, and this is the marked difference between the SN2 and SN1 mechanism. In SN2 only inversion of configuration occurs generally. Number 1, so these are the characteristics of the SN1 type reaction. Number 1, it is a 2-step process. Number 2, the first step, that means the bond dissociation or bond cleaving step is the RDS, because this is the slowest step, RDS. Then nucleophilic attack occurs toward the cation, so goes through the formation of carbocation. So it is more stable state because through the formation of carbocation it goes to the sp2 hybridized and bond angle becomes relaxed. So transition state becomes less energized. And number 4, generally racemization occurs, and such type of reaction mechanism occurs only in case of 2 degree and 3 degree alkyl halide or such type of compound where the nucleophilic substitution reaction takes place. So this is the mechanism of SN1. Now I am discussing about the effects of solvent and structure on the substitution nucleophilic reaction. Now what is the effect of solvent here? First see that in case of SN2 reaction, no charge develops. No charge means no new charge develops. Rather the charge of the nucleophile spreads over the transition state. But in case of SN1, a charge is developed due to the formation of carbocation. So as the bond breaking energy, this is a two steps process, we know that. Suppose A, it forms the transition state at first and then goes to the product B. So it is the two step process. This is the first step, this is the second step. First step is related with the bond dissociation. So old bond first gets dissociated and then forms a new bond with the nucleophile. So the bond dissociation enthalpy requires is largely compensated. BDE is largely compensated through the solvation energy released by the ion pair, and hence the transition state, so the transition state becomes stabilized, becomes more stable than that of SN2 transition state, that of SN2. So as a new charge is formed in case of the SN1 type reaction, a carbocation is formed in case of in the transition state. So that carbocation and the bond from the leaving group forms an anion also. There these two forms an ion pair, and during the solvation, if a polar and protic solvent is used here, suppose a polar protic solvent is used like water, it is a polar protic solvent. So if polar protic solvent is used, then polar protic solvent like water is used, it stabilizes the carbocation as well as the anion forms. That means the leaving group forms the anion. So during the formation of such type of ion, during the stabilization through the solvation energy, releasing of the solvation energy, that largely compensate the BDE, which requires to dissociate the first bond. That means requires in the bond dissociation requires in the first step, that means the RDS, which is the RDS. So in case of SN1, transition state becomes more stable, and as the transition state stability of the transition state increases, so rate of reaction increases. So in case of SN1, solvent is important factor, because if the solvent is polar protic or simply polar, so the rate of reaction increases more, because that solvent stabilizes this carbocation as well as the ion pair. Actually carbocation as well as the leaving group. So the ion pair, it stabilizes the ion pair, and we know that the more the stable the transition state, the more will be the reaction rate. Hence, SN1 reaction rate increases in case of polar protic solvent or simply polar solvent. But in case of SN2 reaction, this has, that means it has marked effect. Solvent has marked effect on it, marked effect on SN2, SN1, but it has approx no effect of the solvent. Rather, actually here, because no charge developed, no charge is developed here, and hence solvent has generally no effect. But actually the reaction mechanism shows that the intermediate, that means the nucleophile, becomes stabilized. Nucleophile becomes stabilized in polar protic solvent, or simply polar solvent. So rate of SN2 is somewhat decreased in presence of polar protic solvent. This is the effect of the solvent on the SN type reaction. Now see the effect of the structure on the SN2 and SN1 mechanism. See the graph rate on the y-axis, and these compounds, actually these are the groups on the x-axis. So these groups are attached with the leaving group where the substitution nucleophilic reactions occur. Now see this part starts with CH3. This is the SN2. Actually this graph is of SN2 and this graph is of SN1. See that SN2 is maximum for the CH3. Then it decreases slowly up to CH2Me. Then actually SN2 doesn't occur in case of CHMe2 or CMe3, hence it shows by the dotted line. But here see the graph of the SN2, SN1, CH3, CH2Me. Generally for these two particular group, SN1 reaction do not occur, it doesn't occur in case of this. But with the increase of the bulkiness, that means CHMe2, CMe3, SN1 reaction occurs. See this, the graph shows here. Now in case of SN2 reaction, see this, initially reactant contains 4 groups, but the transition state contains 5 groups, and hence sterically hindered. So that's why if or whenever the bulkiness occurs, bulkiness decreases, the reactivity towards SN2, because the transition state becomes more energized. More the crowded the transition state, more will be the energy of the transition state, hence it becomes less stable and hence rate of reaction becomes dropped. Hence SN2 reaction doesn't occur in case of such type of bulky group. So these are the conditions of the SN2. Now in case of SN1, see that reactant, in the reactant the carbon is attached with the 4 groups, but in the transition state, see this, the carbon is attached with the 3 groups. So more relaxed transition state occurs, less crowded, more bond angle, that means bond angle increases. So bond angle increases, hence it becomes more stable. Rate of reaction increases, rate of SN1 increases. So these are the effects of the structure on these. So actually the order of the SN1 reactivity is CH3 plus is less than MECH2, MECH2 plus is less than Me2CH plus less than Me3C plus, because with the increase of the stability of the carbocation, the stability, this is the order of stability of carbocation, because order of the stability depends on these factors. Number 1, the resonance, and then we have to show the hyperconjugation. Now the resonance doesn't occur in case of such type of carbocation, but hyperconjugation occurs, and this hyperconjugation depends on the number of alpha hydrogen atoms. Depends on number of alpha hydrogen atoms. See this, in case of CH3, there is no alpha hydrogen atom. So alpha number of, if we consider the number of alpha hydrogen, then it becomes 0 for here. It becomes 3 here because this is the alpha carbon, and here 3 hydrogen atoms are there. Here this is the 6 because this is the alpha carbon actually. CH attached with the carbon. There are 2 alpha carbons actually, 2 alpha carbons, and each alpha carbon is attached with 3 hydrogen. That's why total 6. Here 3 alpha carbons is there, and that's why total 9 alpha hydrogen is there. So hyperconjugation stability increases from this to this, and that's why stability of the carbocation increases from CH3 to Me3C plus. Hence rate of SN1 increases. So rate of SN1 increases. Now I am discussing about the elimination reaction, mechanism of the elimination reactions. First is E2. See that this is the compound R2CH, single bond CH2Y, where Y is the leaving group here. It forms a double bond because through the elimination it forms an alkene. See that the transition state here, this is actually 1 degree. So see that the transition state, B lone pair through this is the base. Through this lone pair it accepts the hydrogen plus. It forms a double bond here. Actually it forms a double bond here, and Y minus dissociates. See this transition state, first it forms a single bond character with the hydrogen, and this single bond dissociates. Here forms a double bond character. Dotted line shows the character only introduced in the transition state. This dissociates actually. Now ultimately B containing lone pair species accept this H plus to form BH plus. It forms R2C double bond CH2 and Y minus. See the mechanism of E2. This is just like SN2. The intermediate of E2 and SN2 are same. Now here see that when lone pair attacks this H plus, this is the base, lone pair attacks this H plus, a double bond character is already introduced inside the alkene system to form the alkene. So Y must be a good leaving group here. In case of E2 mechanism, Y here is a good leaving group, and the base is strong here. It is a one-step process, concerted mechanism, one-step process forms an alkene through the formation of this type of product, this type of transition state. Now see this, the mechanism of E1. See this. First, Y minus dissociation. It is actually two-stage process. First step is the slow bond dissociation occurs. This is a 3 degree alkyl halide. This is 1 degree. So in case of 1 degree, actually E2 occurs in case of 1 degree carbon atom. But in case of E2 occurs, E1 occurs in case of 1 degree, not in 1 degree, that are 2 degree or 3 degree carbon atoms. See this, with the increase of the bulkiness, the transition state becomes more energized, hence less stable, and that's why it shows a separate mechanism just like SN1 type mechanism, and the intermediate of these two are same. First step is the redetermining step. It is a slow step. It maintains an equilibrium. First Y minus dissociates, leaving group dissociates to form Cr2 plus, a carbocation, and leaves the Y minus. Then base attacks this hydrogen to form BH plus and forms a double bond here. So here in case of E2, a good degree of double bond character is present at the transition state, but no such type of double bond character occurs in case of E1. So it goes through the carbocation, it goes through the formation of carbocation. It is a two-step process. But see this, in both the case, This is the common part. In both the case, the leaving group is a good leaving group, must be a good leaving group. So why when a good leaving group, only in these two cases only occurs, E2 as well as E1. See this, why is a good leaving group? It readily dissociates when the base attacks this H plus hydrogen, and then that's why a good degree of double bond character occurs in case of transition state, and after the formation of this compound, see this, Y minus dissociates. Here also a good Y minus dissociates at first because it is a good leaving group. It dissociates to generate a carbocation, and 3 degree carbocation is more stable than that of 1 degree. That's why 2 degree and 3 degree in case of 2 degree and 3 degree carbon atom, this type of elimination occurs, and then first it dissociates to form a double bond here. It forms a pi bond. BH plus dissociates to form Y minus. So if or whenever Y is a good leaving group, only in that case E2 or E1 occurs depending on their structure. In case of 1 degree carbon, E2 occurs. In case of 2 degree and 3 degree carbon, E1 occurs. Another reaction is E1CB. See this mechanism, and after this I am explaining the term first. See this CX2H, where X may be the halogen atom. Single bond CF2, single bond F. CF2F. See this, fluorine is the most electronegative, but the topmost element of the group 17, hence very small in size, so bond length is very short, overlapping region becomes very large, and that's why the bond strength becomes very high. So fluorine is a bad leaving group here. So the criteria of this part is the formation of bad leaving group through the association of the bad leaving group. So why here is a bad leaving group? In case of good leaving group, the E2 as well as E1 occurs, but in case of bad leaving group, this mechanism occurs. So as it is a bad leaving group, it withdraws the electron density towards it because it is highly electronegative in nature. So this carbon becomes del positive. It also withdraws the electron density through the sigma bond towards it, and hence this hydrogen becomes highly acidic in nature. That's why base attack this H plus first and accept this H plus to form BH plus, and it generates a carbon ion. This is the very fast process. It first generates a carbon ion. So second part is the transition state is this. So at the transition state, it forms a carbon ion. This part goes through the formation of carbon ion. So goes through the formation of carbon ion. Now this carbon ion is stabilized due to the presence of a strong electron withdrawing group, goes through the formation of carbon ion, and transition state, that means the carbon ion is stabilized due to the presence of strong electron withdrawing group, like this. Here fluorine is a very strong electron withdrawing, so it increases the acidity of the alpha carbon, alpha hydrogen, and hence H plus removes readily to generate a carbon ion transition state, and this carbon ion actually insists to remove this F minus, which is a bad leaving group. Now it removes the F minus, and hence it forms X2C double bond CF2 F minus. As the transition state occurs through the a carbon ion, so a carbon ion occurs at the transition state. This is called the conjugate base, and that's why it is called the E1CB. It is a two-step process just like E1, but in case of normal E1, the reaction goes through the formation of carbocation, but here the reaction goes through the formation of carbon ion. That's why it is called the E1CB mechanism. E1, that means transition state contains only the reactant molecule E1, and conjugate base through the formation of conjugate base. Now the second step is the rate determining step. So the graph of this part, kinetics of this part is like this. Here this is the energy profile diagram actually. If we draw this is the reaction coordinate, is like this. This is the first hump and this is the second hump. Second hump is larger than that the first hump, because the second step is this is the transition state 2. Second step is the rate determining state. So this is the intermediate, this is the transition state 2. So transition state 2 is has greater activation energy than that of the first. So this type of reaction is called the E1CB. It is an example. See this is the cyanohydrine. So cyanohydrine, OH and CN. Here CN is a good leaving group, a bad leaving group because carbon is very small in size. So CC bond length becomes very small, bond strength becomes very high. Hence it is also a bad leaving group. Base attack this H plus due to the presence of strong electron withdrawing group. It is a strong electron withdrawing group. So this must process, that means the E1CB mechanism occurs only in case of a bad leaving group, and actually it must contain at least one electron, very strong electron withdrawing group which stabilizes the carbanion. So the carbanion is stabilized due to the presence of a strong electron withdrawing group. Now it first generates a carbanion which is stabilized due to the presence of Cn minus. Now it forms a double bond and insists the Cn minus to leave. Hence it forms that corresponding ketone and releases the Cn minus. Actually such type of reaction occurs also in case of benzene intermediate, through the formation of benzene intermediate. See this, the reaction is NH2 and here it is hydrogen. If or whenever it is treated with sodiamide, sodium in liquid ammonia, sodiamide, it is a very strong base. So it attacks this H plus, it forms an anion first. So it first generates an anion here, and that's why the mechanism is E1CB. It first generates an anion here. Now as it generates an anion, then it liberates, it insists to liberate this NH2 through the formation of a benzene intermediate. So such type of reaction mechanism is also called E1CB mechanism. E1CB mechanism, that means elimination unimolecular with respect to the conjugate base.